Every time we get a balance patch, there's a couple things that really needed to get buffed that actually get buffed, and then the rest of it is just things that leave us scratching our head as to why did they include that? Did anyone ask for that to be buffed? Was that an issue? And we're excited about the couple things that got buffed that really needed it, and then when we get to the end, like a couple hours later, we're like, wait a second, there's so much stuff that wasn't addressed that really needed to be addressed, and then the stuff that they did address for things that nobody asked for, and then leaves us disappointed. This balance patch should be no different. There's a couple things that really need to get buffed, and there's quite a lot that is not really changed that people were asking for. So let's get it started. Let's get the disappointment fest. It's not all disappointment. Some of it's actually pretty nice. Some of it is, well, we'll get to that. So first one, Light Toad Mist, Wise Owl's Soul. This wasn't really on my radar of like, does it need to get buffed? Does it need to get nerfed or whatever? It's a decent unit. I've fought it a couple times. I really don't fight it very often, so I don't have one myself, and I don't really fight it that often. So I really didn't have a strong opinion either way on it. I'm sure Light Toad Mist owners will appreciate this. Really isn't anything crazy game changing. It's just a little bit of a buff, a little bit of a improved unit. Fire Fairy King, this is interesting. Hellfire now does not have to strip a beneficial effect to get the defense break. Now it's just going to defense break regardless, which is pretty nice. Because you could, and I've done this, you could just not buff. Like your opponents are waiting for you to buff so they can Daphnis skill 3, and then you just don't buff, and they're like, this is a jerk. This jerk is just not going to let me nuke. So now they can defense break. Now they can defense break without actually having to strip anything. Wind Ryu. That would be the correct word. Wind Ryu, Wind Striker, third skill is changed. If the enemy has no beneficial effects after the first attack, the second attack is activated. Now it's if the first attack lands a critical hit, the second attack is activated. I don't know how I really feel about this, to be honest. I guess we'll test it out. We'll see. I have at least one on one account. I might have 2 or 3. I don't know. I don't really use them that often, but I think a lot of people don't really use them that often. Wind on Miyuji. This is one that I actually do use. I am the only one. I know. Recovers attack bar by 35% now if an enemy uses a skill with cooldown time. Effect added, deals additional damage proportional to the enemy's HP when attacking the suppressed monster. I think this is a sleeper unit. I think a lot of people are not giving her enough credit. I think a lot of people don't want to risk putting Devilmons into her, so I understand that, but this is a unit, man. I was literally playing around with an RTA 2 days ago. Was it 2 days? Maybe it was 3 days ago. I don't know. I was playing around with an RTA recently. I was just picking her very early in the draft. I'm like, this shouldn't be picked very early in the draft, but people didn't really know what she did, so it was just getting through, and it always does pretty decent because no one knows what it does, so they don't know how to counter it. So I think it's a sleeper unit. Personally, I really like playing with her. So Beast Monks got a few changes in this balance patch. There's a few other units that I really like to use that got changed in this balance patch as well. So effect changed. Crushing Blow, first skill, removes 1 beneficial effect if you land a critical hit, is now just removes 1 beneficial effect with a 75% chance. I believe that is just it for all of them. Actually, no, it's not, because the fire one also silences for 1 turn with a 100% chance. And then the other ones are just all 75% chance to remove beneficial effects. Doesn't have to be a crit, which is nice. Light Unicorn, they get more buffs though. The ones you're waiting for. Oh, spoiler, they get the ones we were waiting for. For years. Okay, let's continue. Unicorn, Light Unicorn, recover HP, just a little buff. Fire Monkey King passive, increase the attack speed by 5%, is now 10% whenever you're attacked. That's very nice. I don't really use him that often anymore. Yeah, I don't really use him that often anymore. Not that he's terrible, I feel like I gravitate towards other, like this Striker. So, Fire Striker is pretty strong. Dark Monkey, Summon Cloud, stuns with a 65, now 75% chance. Eventually, it's just going to wind up being 100. It's just, I'm sorry, Dark Monkey owners, that it's taking so long. Eventually, Eventually, you'll get a 100% chance. Don't know why it's taking. No, I do know why it's taking so long, because filler for the next balance patches. So that's why it's taking so long. Chimera Squall. So this will always land as a critical hit if the target's attack speed is slower than yours, which its Squall is based on speed. So of course, you're usually going to be faster than the enemy, which is nice. So you don't have to worry about getting inability effects. So there you go. Didn't buff the base speed on them. The wind one already has good base speed, but the water one and the light one have not that hot base speed. What else do we have? Water Hell Lady blocks enemies from removing harmful effects by 1 turn is now 2 turns, which is, I still miss the heal block. That's just a personal opinion, but this is also nice. Just a little buff. Fire Hell Lady. This is one I might be alone on this. I don't know. This is one that I'm excited about because now it attacks 2 times, now 4 times, which means less chances of landing, not crits. Also, total damage. This is one where I'm like, I'm actually appreciate the 7% damage buff because I always feel like she's just shy of doing that damage. And it's like, if one of them doesn't crit, it's like yeah, put 100% crit rate on it, but I like her with a lot of stats overall. But I think that's actually nice for her, in my opinion. Dark Hell Lady, I must have missed this the first time. Removes a beneficial effect with it because I glanced over it at first. Removes a beneficial effect, 30% chances. Now steals 1 beneficial effect with a 30% chance. I think Beans is gonna be happy about that one. She's got the Dark Hell Lady. Fire Demon, Flames of Hell, blocks enemies. So this is just the same thing as Beth. Is just 2 turns now instead of 1 turn. Laika gets a buff. Still doesn't have a stun, but he is. The attacks are only 20% of his max HP now, which is nice. We have Wind Shadowcaster gets 2 buffs. The first one is grants one of the harmful effects on all enemies without a condition. It was only when they had the beneficial effect removed. And then the second one is his second skill, increased damage by, is the wind and the light one. Increased damage by 12% when attacking the enemy tied with Shadow with a single target skill is 50% of the first hit damage to all enemies. It's kind of like a Pungback skill, right? Not quite the same, because Pungback got buffed, by the way, if you guys don't know. Is actually a pretty decent counter to Nana. So, might be something to dust off if you guys don't use Pungback. Battle Angel. So Fire Battle Angel actually needed a buff. I felt like she needed a buff pretty significantly. I don't think that this is... I don't have her. I can't really say how I feel about this firsthand. I don't think this is what she needed, though. If I had her, I wouldn't be excited about this buff. That's just my personal opinion. The Wind Battle Angel, evasion passive. So if the enemy's attack... you receive lands a glancing hit, you recover your attack bar by now 50%, not 30, 50% now. It's similar to things like Susano and Jubel and the Wind Sniper, which it's 2 o'clock in the morning, so I forget the name of the Wind... Carcano? No, it's not. Carbine. Whatever. Similar to those things. Damage increasing according to the difference between your attack speed and the enemy's attack speed. You still need a lot of stats on her, unfortunately. I think that's one of the big things is she's very stat hungry, and I just don't know if she's worth it. It's just hard to get all the stats that she needs, in my opinion. Fire Weapon Master. This one seems like kind of a turn 2 unit now. Passive effect condition changed when an enemy or ally is defeated. Now his attack bar increases by 100%. An attack bar increases equal to the half of the dead target's current attack power. So, I just think that's... I don't have one on any account. I think that it's a pretty decent unit for turn 2. If your opponent's coming in very aggressively, kills one of your units, you increase your attack bar, you cut in, get a turn. Potentially a really nice combination with Nana. I'm sure some of you are already using that. Light Joker. It's been a while. The Fire Joker I felt needed a buff. The Light Joker I think is kind of usable, especially fast on Despair is pretty decent. Now he installs a bomb for 2 turns with a 25% chance when attacking. It's a 25% chance, though, so it's really... You can't really rely on it for anything. But he does strip into a bomb. So that's that's interesting. Well, strip into multiple debuffs into a bomb because his second skill and his passive are basically strip into maybe glancing, maybe what is it? Speed break, stun. What else is on the second skill? Regardless, it's going to be interesting, but I don't think we can really rely on it with a 25% chance. The Robos get buffed. This is interesting. So effect added to the Water Robo. This is the one that obliterates himself. Now he grants invincibility after revival. I think he should have always had this. This could be pretty nice. I mean, it's still a gimmick unit. I still don't know if I would use this, but it's at least prevents him from just getting killed again. So, Wind Robo, Giant's Punch, that's the third skill. Decreases enemy's attack bar by 15%, which is nice. Dark Robo, Full Burst, third skill. This is the one that does all the continuous damage. It's like 8 hits, I believe, and a lot of continuous damage. Now it's going to strip beneficial effects with a 50% chance. It's so many hits that this is going to land a lot. Even 50% chance is going to land a lot. Fire, Wind, Dark, Robo, Blade Crush absorbs attack bar of all enemies by 15% now. I mean, buff one of my favorite units. I'll take it. I'm not going to complain. I use that unit. I don't have to tell you guys. You know that I use that unit all the time. Solid unit. I mean, Han is one of the reasons that I use that unit all the time, but still, solid unit. Now even more solid. Just more effective. Wind Robo, Energy Bolt is now damage proportion to attack power and attack speed. Effect changed for decrease enemy's attack bar by 30% is now absorb. Okay. I wasn't really paying attention to that before. I was so excited about the dark one, I wasn't paying attention to the wind one. Damage proportion to attack power is now attack power and attack speed for the dark one, which that's his first skill. So he's usually very, very fast because he's a stripper. So that's going to help him do more damage. Water Mermaid, HP recovery amount proportion to 15% of your HP, now just 5% buff. Wind Mermaid, Crushed Hopes, always has attribute advantage when attacking the enemy, which is nice. Increases skill cooldown time by 2 turns, is now 1 turn. And then we have Dark One for her third skill. HP recovery amount is 20% now. And then the fire one, the second skill for the fire and the dark one, Blighty gets buffed, guys. When reviving the ally, she's never the Wheel of Doom. She's never gonna get picked. Adds 2 turns of cooldown time and also recover the HP and attack bar by 40% now instead of 30. So this is, I mean, we've seen Beta is still in siege defenses, so we're just gonna see her in siege defenses some more now, I'm sure, because it's just better than. It's just better than she was before. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to do it. So this one though, this next thing, this is probably the biggest thing in my opinion of the patch. Beast Monk's leader skills gets changed from the garbage that it was before to something that's actually, well, the dark one was something that people were using in dungeons. Attack power leader skill by 44%. I'm not going to say that people weren't using that one, whoever had the dark one. That's kind of a nerf. The dark Beast Monk leader skill. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. But the rest of them are buffed. So, Water 1, instead of increasing defense by 44%, is increasing the attack speed of ally monsters by 24% everywhere. That could be interesting. I don't know if that's gonna. I mean, either way, you give something an attack speed leader skill that's gonna get used regardless. So that should be nice. Fire Beast Monk, increase HP of ally monsters. This is just going to make him. I feel like he's an underrated unit. He's got cleanse, he's got AoE silence, he's got strips, he's got heals. I think that he really should be in siege more, in my opinion. But he does have low base speed, so this might make him more effective as a siege unit. I just think he's got I think he's got more value than people give him credit for. Wind Beast Monk increases defense. I mean, all of these are gonna help these monsters get used more. Light Beast Monk, it's a crit rate leader skill. I'll still use it. I mean, I was not using it in dungeons in the first place, so I'll still use it. I'll probably use it about the same, but it's better than it was before. And then the Dark Beast Monk, which we mentioned, the accuracy is probably not a thing too many people are going to get excited about. I think that's actually a nerf for the Dark Beast Monk more than anything else. And then the Fire Death Knight increases defenses, now increases HP of allied monsters by 25%. Could be used more in Siege, I think. It makes more sense with him. He does damage based on his HP. So, skill descriptions are just... That's just the same... They do the same thing. It's just worded differently now. And then these are just some skill errors. So, I think for the most part, the Beast Monks were the winners of this patch. It's not anything too crazy, though. Beast Monks, what else? Robos. Beast Monks, Robos, and Mermaids. Like, here's the thing. A lot of people are going to get kind of bummed out about this because some of the meta RTA units, we still do have SWC going on, so I wasn't expecting any of the major RTA units, World Arena units to get touched. So, that's not that shocking for me, but it was shocking for a lot of people, so take it for what it is. I think that they will get touched after the SWC is finished. So in a couple months, in the next balance patch, I think we can expect some RTA mix-ups. But for right now, I think we're seeing things that are potentially good for Siege. And then some things addressed that should have been addressed a while ago. But anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I will see you as always in the next one.